I am now very pleased to introduce our keynote speaker, Ms. Andrea Verdone Gorsegner of the Truth 365. Each year at Convocation, we invite a speaker who has made an impact on our larger community and even the world we live in. Our aim is to inspire you, our newest students, to the power you have on the lives of others, not only through your studies and future science and healthcare degrees, but by giving back to your community. Andrea is an advocate and fundraiser for pediatric cancer research and a supporter of victims and their families. Her work is very personal. In 2012, at the age of 3, her daughter Natalie was diagnosed with high-risk acute lymphblastic leukemia. After a 2-year battle, Natalie was declared cancer-free, but not before inspiring Andrea to help other families. She set out to raise money for the Truth 365, an initiative of the Arms Wide Open Childhood Cancer Foundation. In her first year, Andrea raised $110,000 and funded 6 research grants, exceeding her goal, which was set at only $50,000. Last year, she again raised $164,000 and funded 3 more research grants. And this year, her aim is to raise $200,000 for brain cancer research by Natalie's birthday on September 28th. How courageous and inspiring. It's now my pleasure to present this year's Convocation keynote speaker, Andrea Verdone Gorsegner.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today. Before that beautiful intro, I'm sure some of you sitting there have to be thinking, who the hell is Andrea Verdone Gorsegner? My apologies, because I am not a celebrity. I'm not even well known. In fact, I'm just a mom who used to work as a photo editor in the magazine world. I know, I don't even have a science background. I'm just a mom who did normal mom things. That is before August 16th, 2012 rolled around. I'm sure that many of you have heard that common phrase that life changes on a dime. Well, my husband Dan and I got a real life lesson on that very day, as that's when we were told that our almost 3-year-old daughter, Natalie Grace, was diagnosed with high-risk acute lymphblastic leukemia. In short, cancer. There's not much that I can remember after hearing those words. However, clear as day, I could still see the somber faces of the medical staff who came in to give us the unfortunate news. I can see the blood seeping from Natalie's swollen right eye as it dripped down her pale cheek and onto my arm. I can still feel that indescribable pain, the sudden weight on my chest, and the pure and utter confusion that I had to be dreaming. This can't be my life. I can see and feel it all, but I hear absolutely nothing besides the heaviness in my own breath. From that moment on, our world would be split into 2 categories, life before and life after Natalie's diagnosis. In the morning of the 16th, I went into work as a photo editor for Women's Health magazine, and by the afternoon, I was out of a job, down a generous salary, and handed the membership card to the worst club of all, Club Cancer. Once the initial shock of everything leveled out, I was finally able to stop asking those impossible questions that still to this day have no answers. At that point, I was beginning to navigate this unpredictable world of childhood cancer. And what I mean by this is that I was finally able to find my power in a completely powerless situation. Knowledge. As cliche as that might sound to all of you, there is nothing more accurate. Knowledge is power. So with that, I began educating myself, not only on Natalie's particular cancer, which is the most common form of childhood cancer, but I immersed myself in the 15 other major types of childhood cancer. I couldn't believe just how wide this cancer door was beginning to swing open. From neuroblastoma, Wilms tumor, Ewing sarcoma, and the many different forms of childhood brain cancer. I couldn't believe the facts that began unraveling. For instance, did any of you here know that childhood cancer is the #1 disease killer of our kids in this country? The #1 disease killer of our kids in this country. Did you know that currently there are over 40,000 children in treatment for cancer? Did you know that 7 of those children die every single day from their cancer? Each year, cases of childhood cancer are on the rise, and yet funding continues to go down. USciences, it is time to wake up and learn the truth. The truth that only 4% of the National Cancer Institute's research budget is allocated towards childhood cancer research. The remaining 96% goes to profitable adult cancers. Even outside of the NCI, most of the big box cancer foundations only allocate 1 to 4% of their research dollars towards childhood cancers. In fact, in the past 20 years, there have only been 3 new drugs developed for any kind of childhood cancer. That one, to me, really was shocking. And I know what some of you might be thinking. It eventually trickles down to the kids, so, adult research helps them too. And, while there is some truth to this, childhood cancers are completely different from adults. For one, kids' bodies are different. They haven't been tainted by lifestyle choices, and they haven't been in the environment that long. Their bodies are still developing, therefore they metabolize everything completely different. Kids' bodies are not just mere mini adults. And most childhood cancers are just that. They are childhood cancers, meaning most of them are unheard of as far as them occurring in adults. For instance, DIPG, the beast of all childhood cancers. This particular form of brain tumor is diagnosed in approximately 100 to 150 U.S. children per year. It's a tumor located in the pons portion of the brain, therefore making it impossible to surgically remove. With that, these children are given an instant terminal prognosis. And while the life expectancy for these kids vary, most of them will lose their battle within the first year. So to all of you future researchers out there, the ones who dream of finding a cure for cancer, I dare you to spend some quality time getting to know DIPG. Maybe, just maybe, if you slay that monster, you'll hand up the biggest piece to the cancer cure puzzle. You see, many researchers believe that because of its aggressive nature and its resistance to chemotherapy, DIPG could quite possibly be the gateway to finding a cure for all cancers. The big take-home here is that there's no one-size-fits-all for any cancer. But to me, there's simply no comparison when it comes to kids and adults. Again, some will say, but there are hundreds of thousands of adults in treatment each year. True. In comparison, childhood cancers don't yield the same pharmaceutical profits that adult cancers most certainly do. However, tell me why, when it comes to our children, to the future of this country, why are we so quick to put a price tag on them? The average age for an adult to be diagnosed with cancer is 66 years old. For a child, it's 6. So in essence, an adult who loses their battle will lose approximately 17 years of life, whereas a child will lose 71 years. How much is it worth to give a child a chance to play, to feel that first thrill of freedom while riding a bike, to grow up, attend the University of the Sciences, perhaps get married, have a child or two of their own, to find the cure for cancer, or to simply make their own mark in this world, whatever that might be? What is a child's life worth? Anyway, I'm the fortunate one, unlike too many of my friends who have lost their kids in the last 2 years to childhood cancer. After a long, hard fight, my sweet Natalie is almost 6 years old and has now been off treatment and cancer-free for 9 months. Thank you. I know. Clearly, we're thrilled. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some of you started tuning me out after hearing the words childhood cancer because, well, for one, it doesn't directly concern you. And, two, anything having to do with a severely ill child is really sad. And, who the heck wants to be sad, especially on a day like today? Well, I'm here to tell you that this absolutely concerns you. Sure, maybe you won't end up with that childhood cancer club card directly, and I sincerely hope that you don't. But cancer is inevitable, as I'm sure just about everybody in this room can attest. So future psychologists, prepare for the parents that you'll be treating whose child has died from cancer, or perhaps the childhood cancer survivor who is now dealing with the severe PTSD due to the simple fact that she has lived while watching all of her young friends die. To the future physical therapists out there, be ready to help the childhood cancer survivors who have lost the ability to properly use the muscles in their legs due to the harsh poison that they were given again and again and again. This poison is known to you all as chemotherapy. Want to be a surgeon or perhaps specialize in prosthetics? Then get ready to discuss rotationplasty to an 8-year-old child who not only has had part of his leg removed to rid his body of the disease, but who will now have a portion of that same leg reattached only backwards in order to give him a more natural movement when wearing his prosthetic. You see, it doesn't matter what your field in science might be. Childhood cancer will come to find you in one form or another. Oh, and remember in the beginning when I said that I was just a mom? Well, there is nothing just about me or about any of you. You don't have to be well known to make an impact on this world. I'm sure that some of you are already doing this today to some degree or another, even if it's by purchasing a stranger a cup of coffee. You're going to begin this year and think to yourself, oh my God, I am so overwhelmed and I have so much work to do. There's no way I can do anything else. Trust me, I get it. I've been there. But you have no idea of how much time that you really do have. So please, don't waste a second of it making excuses as to why you can't help with something or help someone. As much as I would love to see a long line of you coming over to meet me at the end of the ceremony, wanting to inquire about how you can help, I don't expect childhood cancer to be everyone's charitable priority. Everyone should have a cause that's near and dear to their hearts. But what I do expect, now that you are all grown up, is to find something outside of yourself to prioritize. Give back and make a difference in your own community. You don't have to save the entire world. Just start by casting that first stone, and in no time, I promise you that you will see the ripple effect in your life and in the lives of others. Every single one of you has something to offer. So just figure it out, what you're good at, or what brings you joy. be in reference to your future profession or simply a hobby, then use that gift of yours to help someone else. Thanks so much, guys. Be sure to stop by our tent and say hello. We're right outside of the campus center to learn more about the Truth 365 and our mission to not only unite the childhood cancer community, but to raise awareness in general that childhood cancer is not rare. We need more funding for our kids, and we'll never get to where we need to be without the help from people like you. So study, give back, and please, please, please go gold this September in honor of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you.